What up, lovely kids? Vincent.
And Mike, and this high school basketball video is brought to you by Naples Rib Company, the perfect place to cater your team's next event. After losing Monday to Lakewood, Poly trying to circle the wagons, hoping to set a Moore League record with a 9th straight championship this year. But the big bad Bruins are in town. They haven't been this exciting since this guy was suiting up 10 years ago. Mikey Wilder back in the gym. Good to see an old classic. Shooters shooting this one. It was a guard game as both teams got their backcourts going. Jaden Woodard for Wilson was absolutely insane tonight, as you will see later. Matt Schmidt has been a force for Wilson, but Poly crashing on him all night. Wilson up 14-11 after the first quarter. Big game from Jordan Williams. He puts him up 22-19. He had 19 points and 12 rebounds. Poly was at its best driving tonight, but Williams had the shot falling as well as he hits the big triple. Every momentum swing huge in this game since it was just a one-possession game for most of the way. Wilson just always had an answer. Jack Cobb with the old school three-point play. Super athletic to get the ball up as he's falling down. And then Daryl Polk. What else do you want from the kid? Faster than the Flash and knows the glass better than Mirror Master. Getting it done on defense as well with 3 blocks. Bruins feeding Schmidt with ball movement to try and keep Poly from doubling down on him. Big 12 was efficient at getting it in when he got the ball in the paint. But Williams on his head top, 24-22 Poly at halftime. Fantastic Four was fired up. The Jet, Jesse Galloway, got to his spots in the third quarter. He had 14 points. Poly won the third quarter 17-13. That was the best quarter of the night for them. The good feed from Polk to Williams. But the chef, Jaden Woodard, got cooking for Wilson. Started to make his mark on the game in the third quarter with a big 3 right there that they needed. Takes him off the dribble. But going the other way, Jet is going to put Poly up 41-35 going to the fourth. And it felt a couple times in the fourth like Poly might close this thing out. Polk trying to set the tone with defense. He's going to put them up by 8 points. But Wilson just played great team defense. They had great energy. Never felt like they were out of it. Derek Chumley's going to poke it ahead here, and then Tech Tremone with the great finish on the reverse to bring Wilson back within 6 points. A huge crowd here, which was so fun. Excited as Kalen Humphrey is going to cut the lead to 3. You can see how fired up the student section was for that. Then Polk mid-range. Going to start putting Poly back up. Then DeMarje Guy, the converted football player, with a tip in that was 1 millimeter either way on a cylinder call, but they get it. Poly looked like they might have come away with it a couple times, but Moan, with the loudest 12 points you've ever seen, is going to cut the lead in half again. Polk says, "I get my own, thanks." He was owning the fourth quarter. Scored 8 straight for the Jackrabbits, but Schmidt says, "I've had just about enough of this." Wilson down 4, 1 minute left. Woodard is called on a carry, and it looked like that was about it. It's a 4-point Poly lead with the ball and 21 seconds, but the Jackrabbits split the free throws, but Woodard gets all 3 of these. That's going to make it a 2-point game. Poly would split the free throws again, giving Wilson the ball with 4 seconds left, down 3. They go back to Fantastic Four. Woodard again. The chef delivers his Postmates. He's going absolutely nuts. 19 points, including 2 threes in the final 12 seconds to send this game to overtime. Unbelievable. Fans on the court in the middle of the game. The crowd loving it. We go to OT tied 64-64. Big man eating late. Making the trip up Zimino to Haas Hut. 19 points, 15 rebounds for Schmidt. Polk the other way. The midi was on point. Mid-range game working for Deuce. Great passes from Moan to Schmidt. Both teams scored on their first 3 possessions of overtime. Moan really should have had another 2 assists on this play, but the shots finally stopped falling for Wilson. Woodard just did not quite have a 5th three-pointer in him. Great straight-up defense by Polk on that one. Poly ball tied with 45 seconds left. Williams, the pumpty-dump, drops it in, puts Poly up 2. Jackrabbits need 1 more stop. They get it, and fitting that Polk will ice this thing. 30 points, 5 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks in an overtime win. Have a game, Deuce. a 4-way tie for first place in the Moore League now. Polly, Wilson, Lakewood, Jordan. I can say it's been the wildest first week and a half of the Moore League we've ever seen, and we're excited to see what happens the rest of the way. Polly hosts Milliken, Wilson travels to Cabrillo after an absolutely insane game here tonight. We'd like to thank all our sponsors, including Papalucci's, a great place to eat down on 2nd Street. How much fun are we having in the Moore League right now? We missed another buzzer beater overtime game at Lakewood Milliken. We got to be everywhere, you got to be everywhere, and you got to be right here.